A warm welcome to all of you and a heartfelt namaste. I, Anuradha Sharda, would like to thank all of you for watching the videos, writing in your comments and your suggestions. Today we are going to talk about the transit of Sun into the Capricorn Rasi, and this is a very important transit which needs a good look not just on a particular rasis but also on the mundane. So let's begin with the planetary position of the sky as on 14th January 2021, when the Sun moves or transits or does a Sankraman into the Capricorn Makar Rashi. When the Sun would move into the Capricorn Rashi, the positions would be as such. Saturn and Jupiter both would be combust, and we have seen that Jupiter has now defeated Saturn in the planetary warfare, and the impact would be quite effective during this entire period because Saturn and Jupiter are in close conjunction with each other. Also, we see that Mercury is at 14 degrees, nearly 15 degrees in Capricorn, so it is not getting affected by the Sun as is Saturn and Jupiter because they are within the orbit of the rays of Sun, so they are highly combust. Mercury does not get the effect of combustion. Again, it is said in Uttar Kalamrit that Saturn does not get the effects of combustion, but some of the reasonings can be felt, and we will see how we can see that. A very strong phenomenon that we also need to see is that both the dispositors of Rahu and Ketu are not within in this planetary scheme of things. However, they are also within the Rahu-Ketu axis. So the Rahu-Ketu axis is very much prevalent until and unless Moon moves out of that area. And so we will see for the coming few months till March, when Mars would be crossing Rahu. Till March, we would definitely see that the Rahu-Ketu axis would be a very prevalent one. And again, before I move further, Moon is also under the influence of Sun. So there are 4 planets which are with Sun and 3 highly affected by the rays of Sun. In the mundane, how do we work on that? Yes, we've seen planetary warfare. We will definitely see in the coming month a strong financial change. Let's not forget that the entire thing is happening in the most commercial sign of the zodiac, the Capricorn. So there will be financial changes to effect in this month. Because Saturn is also involved, Saturn representing the blue collared people, so there will be an upheaval because there will be a burning down of systems. Saturn and Jupiter together representing the ideologies and the systems and the administrative power. Sun being the supreme, being the soul, being the principles. So these principles are going to go for a toss. There's going to be a rebellion that we're going to see. Depending in the mundane, depending on the chart of the country, we will see which areas are going to be affected. For India, I can say that it is going to have an effect on, because Saturn is the 10th ruler and the 9th ruler, and Jupiter is the 8th and the 11th. Economy is definitely going to be affected, and there can be a rebel because the 8th house shows rebellion, uprising, and the 9th and the 10th house is the principle and the working of it. So this area of economy, rebel, principle and working of the blue collared people is definitely going to see an upheaval, and we have to be ready for it because the 4th house, Sun predominant, the masses are going to be extremely predominant, and the 3rd house, Moon, says that you need to change. Change is going to be inevitable with the principles and the structures this time for India. One thing that we need to see is that Sun is supreme. Sun is very, very strong. So in such a case, why is Sun strong? Because Sun is also in its own Nakshatra. It's in a Vargottama position also. And it's Digbali as per the national zodiac. This Sun being very strong and representing the 5th house of the Kalpurusha Kundali, wherein we see a lot of lot of publicity, we see a lot of airing, we see advertisements, all these things, news and views will all be coming into the forefront, because Mercury is talks. Mercury is, thanks heaven that Mercury is not combust, so the talks would be going on, and there can be fights, there can be obstacles, but discretion, if applied, can help us overcome that situation. Now, Sun and Mercury together, whichever house they rule for us, if houses that they rule for us in our chart, say for Aries Lagna, they would be ruling the 3rd house, the 6th house, and the 5th house. So that is the area that one needs to concentrate. You need to be more vocal about your things. You need to be more discretionary, and advertisement over your working will take space. So let us move into the zodiac by zodiac through the signs, and let us see how this zodiac wheel, how this combination, which is a little alarming, works out in our favor, which are the spots that we need to take very strong stock of. For the Ram, the Aries, the areas that really is going to show a little bit of effect for you, may go for a toss, is your workstation. Please hold on tightly onto that for a few days, a matter of 10 to 15 days, and things will start working in a proper direction for you. In the meantime, the area that you need to work on is your children. Your children will really take a lot of your space at that time, and they will also help you understand what you can do about your work in their own ways, which may be indirect, but can be alarmingly, strikingly correct. The 5th house is also about sadhana. The 5th house is also about mantra shuddhi, and it is also about mantrana, taking consultations, taking in the sense not astrological consultations only, it means taking consultation from somebody wise as regards your work, what you can do about it, and how you can form correct opinion. The sun being very strong for all of us, it's very important that we do revere the sun every day to get a lot of confidence, because sun also represents the confidence. In the 5th house is your atmabal, that is your self assurance, confidence, etc. The 5th house is also the house of publicity. So for those who are undergoing a change in your workplace, if you go about doing the right kind of publicity, probably you will find an outlet to do the right things in the right manner, and your work will then, undergoing a change, undergoing a systematic change, will emerge a better place to be, as sun would transit itself into your 11th house of finances. The 5th lord in the 11th house will make sure that there is sporadic but constant finances. And the best part is, with Mars being on your Lagna at the moment, and it's the Lagna Lord, and in Ashwini Nakshatra, you are raring to go. You have the ability to adjust things to your point of view. Don't forget, and financially, you may at the moment feel bereft, but you are, if you follow the trend of being able to work out with this sun, then you are going to succeed in the next month. And the best thing, as I told you, is to, for all Rashis, it is to worship the sun god for the next 1 month, at least. Now, when we move on to the Taurus ascendant, for the Taurus ascendant, it is good. The Rahu-Ketu axis is going to be a permanent fixture for the next 1 year, 3-4 months. But the Rasi which is highly affected is your 9th house, that is for Capricorn. And your 4th lord is a very strong part there. The 8th house, the 9th house, the 10th house, and the 11th house. All these things are under the radar for the Taurus Rashi and for the Taurus Lagna. And in such a case, it is very important for you, as I mentioned earlier, right there in the beginning, that there is an upheaval right there in your workplace. You might also feel a sudden change in your workplace, a rebel in your workplace. Don't get carried by that. Connect your emotions with your logic. see how you can connect with people on a very logical basis, and you will see that careful connectivity as well as a lot of patience, because the fourth house also represents patience. So patience in the right direction through connectivity with emotions, with people, will help you sail this period out. If ninth house also represents the elders, so if you have the ability, if you have elders around them whom you can take advice from, this is the best time to do that. The fourth house also represents mother, and the mother is in the ninth house for you. So your mother could also be offering you certain advice on how to tackle things. Don't overlook them. She could have an alarmingly striking view on that point. Again, moon, which is in its own nakshatra Shravana at this moment, it is very strong in its own right, and it's the third lord of change. Moon also represents changeability. See what can be changed within you, in your system, work towards it, and it will give you very strong yet very good results. If your finances are undergoing certain amount of changes, there's nothing wrong with that. Your fifth lord is very strong, so your chances at getting work done will be strong. You will have the ability to take care of crisis. So do that. That is the call of the day for you. We move ahead with Gemini Lagna. For the Gemini Lagna, the entire thing is happening, the entire revolution, if I can say so, is happening in the 8th house. The 8th house is also the house of sudden effects. Yes, there's a lot of suddenness in the air for you. You will be facing a lot of sudden issues that you may find difficult to tackle. But on a public scale, on a public level, you are competent enough to do that, because your fifth lord happens to be in the 7th house at the moment, and that gives you the ability to move strongly. It is unafflicted, and that is one of the best things that we can talk about. In the 8th house, your 8th lord and your 7th lord, your 10th lord and your 9th lord are just being combust at the moment. So you might feel a little pressurized as for your work. That is a very strong point that you may do. You may feel that there's a change, evolution that is happening, which you may not have instigated by your own conscious efforts, but let it go, let it happen with the flow, because when it does, the outcome at the end of the month, when sun moves into Aquarius, is going to be a good one. Also, we see that the moon, which is your second lord, lord of wealth, is in its own nakshatra, and it is denoting that yes, your way of income, your way of thinking will undergo a strong change this month, with it being strongly associated with Jupiter, forming the Gaj-Kesari Yoga also. So go by what your intellect tells you, go by what your reasoning is telling you, and you will be on a winning curve. Don't forget to revere the sun god. In all cases this time, I would definitely tell all people to revere the sun god this month, because he is the strongest. At least this very month, he is definitely the strongest. Moving on to the Cancer Lagna. For the Cancer Lagna, this is happening on a public platform to you. This entire play of the planets is happening on the 7th house, in the 7th house, and the Rahu-Ketu axis, as always will be for the next 1.5 years, is on your 5th and 11th axis. Your 10th lord is in the 10th house and aspects the Lagna. You are very strong to go. You are trying to find things out, adjust to new things, and moreover, you're trying to learn as much as possible about starting something new. A good place to begin with. But know that there can be certain amount of upheavals in your partner's life, either professional or personal issues, and there can be, as a result, certain short circuits, if I may say so, in the system. There can be certain amount of irritation and frustration in the system, if you can understand that, and you can accept the change that is coming your way. It will be very, very good. Your second lord is the strongest at the moment, and your 12th and the third lord. If you can find to change things so that there can be an international income, or you can go in for donations, do those donations with your own hands. Listen to what your inner self has to say. Your Lagna Lord is also in a very strong position with the ninth Lord. So there is a, you can be, you may undergo a lot of metamorphosis this month, and you can find a lot of change, but you will definitely be regarded on a high level after a few days. Probably around the 24th, 25th of this month, you would find a very strong place at a high level, and that is the time when you will go into a great space with this conjunction. Moreover, you see that the second lord for you is the highest, is the strongest planet at the moment. So keep your moral and your administrative values extremely high. Money will just follow. Don't forget to worship the sun god in the morning. For the Leo Lagna, definitely the sun god does beckon you to do what is good. Your Lagna Lord is in its own nakshatra, which tells you to keep a high moral ground. Keep that compass up north. Yes, the sixth lord and the fifth lord, the eighth lord and the seventh lord are under the radar of the sun. They are going to lose a lot of material benefits at the moment for a month, but there is a spiritual awakening for you, wherein you will understand things that are being played out in life because of certain karmic values, especially with Jupiter, your eighth lord, in now traveling into the Shravana nakshatra of Lord Vishnu, and with moon, who's also the ruler of Shravana. It is advised that you for help looking into the padukas or understanding Lord Vishnu's principles in your mind will help you go a long way. The health, because it's the Saturn sitting here, the health on a certain level, because nervous issues, some people can have sciatica issues, all those issues may come to the forefront, and that is a time that tells you that you need to be very strong about and conscious about your health issues and pay much attention to these areas. When we are conscious about our health issues, we develop a strong health regime. If the strong health regime is developed, it will give you a great forward motion. One more thing is that because of your health, you may feel a little burnt out, and there can be a lot of things on your mind. So it's the sixth lord, 12th lord in the sixth house, which may indicate that you could be going to hospitals. Another way of avoiding that would be giving good charities to hospitals or people in need of medicines. Again, the planet of value, the second lord and the 11th lord, connects to the 11th house. Good chance that you would be on a earning curve, because this planet of value is not combust. It is in a good position wherein you need to apply your mind, because at 14 degrees it is definitely in the zone of Shravana nakshatra, wherein you would be in a good place to apply your mind. With the Lagna Lord being very strong, you are definitely full of confidence and full of ability to be able to carry it further. With the ninth lord in the ninth house, and that being Mars, calling Hanumanji, when you are in a position of danger or probably in a problematic state, will ease not just your nerves, but will also give you a lot of confidence that is inherent, but at the moment you may not be able to access that. Let's move on to the Virgo Lagna. For the Virgo Lagna people, the entire thing plays out in the fifth house. The fifth house is the house of child. The fifth house is also a place of our crisis management, and this is also a place where we listen to or we take counsel from our elders, or we also can go within. With the 12th lord in the fifth house, it is a time to connect with something that we call the inside of us, or we can also call it the Param Brahma. So this is a time when we make an inward journey, very strong inward journey, because sun is also in the nakshatra of Uttarashada, the Vishwa Devatas, which talk about which talk about high moral values, be it sterling qualities, be it truthfulness, be it steadiness, all those things. So it's a time to be steady, plant your feet firmly in the ground in case of energy crisis. Most of the times you could be coming across situations where you would have to work at the drop of the hat, or you would have to take certain very strong decisions in a moment's notice, because that is what energy crisis is all about. Crisis is all about. Crisis management is all about. So this is a time when you would be on a number of scales have to take crisis management. Now it is your 4th lord, 5th lord, 6th lord and 7th lord. So what are the houses that are affected by this combustion? It is your peace, your security. It could be your ability to connect with your child. It could also be a working environment, and definitely your relation with your spouse, or for that matter your public standing. So these are the areas that you need to be very, very careful about. Tread on a certain certain low-keyed manner, so that you do not tread on their steps or create a misery for yourself. Again, your 11th lord is very strong and sitting in its own nakshatra. Listen to your own self. If you're wanting to invest in certain shares, debentures for a short-term basis, I would rather always tell you that do it on a long-term basis. But because it's moon and sitting also in the 5th house, but the 5th house being combust, so I would, with the number 2 planets being combust, I would definitely say, instead of just investing in a short-term basis, do it on a long term with viable, changeable plans. Again, when again, people who are willing to study for their own work or want to start something new because Mercury is in a good place, you can take the counsel of somebody who appears to listen and hears more than what they can say, and you can move in a right direction. That person with a good sound background of that particular field, will be able to give you a good advice. As your 8th lord is in the 8th house and in Ashwini Nakshatra, there might be quick changes coming your way. Be adaptable, accept those changes, you will go a long way. Let's talk about the Libra Lagna. When we talk about the Libra Lagna, it's the 4th house that sees so much of the upheaval, and it also sees so many planets conjuncting there. Is it a good sign or a bad sign? We've discussed it for so long that it is partially good and partially it is evolving. And as we say that change is the most constant thing, I would definitely take it as a good sign. Saturn and Jupiter are combust, yet they are closely together. So yes, we will see a lot of changes. Your policies, your ideologies with Jupiter shows may be breaking down, and as a result there can be an administrative system crisis. This can be eating into your peace, because the 4th house for you represents the peace. This can be eating into your peace. This can be eating into your security issues about your children. This can be also showing you that you need to learn new things, because it's the 11th lord in the 4th house. So you need to understand, join probably new areas, go and exert yourself in other areas beyond that of your home and hearth. And being the 10th lord in the 4th house, yes, work from home is always a possibility, but it also says that you need to see if there's any change in your work that you can encompass and then create a much more better environment, not just for home, but for also your mental peace. For those who are studying, for those who want to learn new things, yes, like I said, for the Virgo Lagna, this place is also good. But for the Virgo Lagna, it would be on a professional basis. For you, it is on a basis that connects you. This study would connect you to your own self. It would take you on a journey that would be inwardly enriching and will also address to a lot of your outer insecurities. So this learning is a good time for you. Keeping quiet would be also a way of life for you. If you can do that for some time, it will also open up a lot of avenues in your life, and you would also see that there would be people who would be coming to you for counseling. Again, when we talk about your Lagna Lord is in the third house. Third house is all about change. Third house is also about courage. Third house is also about speech. When you go around talking to people, please make sure that you are not in a bad mood, or you do not say things that can affect you badly, because your Lagna Lord, Venus, is also the dispositor of Rahu. So for you, it's a good time to worship the Devi in a very strong yet loving form. In her Durga form, she saves the children, but she kills what is unwanted, what is undesirable. So it's good time to worship the Devi. When we talk about the Scorpio Lagna, every time, every month, I always say that to you, that it's on a Rahu-Ketu axis, and this time it's not going to be any different. However, the third house for you is a highly active house, and third house is also called the unlocking of your karma. We'll come to that later, but a beautiful thing is that your Lagna Lord from Ashwini Nakshatra is also aspecting the Lagna. So it's a very strong case where you see Mars is also aspecting Ketu, telling you to move into a beautiful area of rediscovery. It's also telling you that it's time when you did certain things not just on an internal level, but also on your professional level. It will help you grow, because your 10th Lord is also in the third house and shining brightly like a light of beacon. It is the lighthouse which will help you. There are so many of your ships out there which want to move towards a coast. Use this light of the sun to move, feather your ships back on the coast, and you will do a good job with it. Follow your inward sterling qualities that you have, because Sun as your 10th Lord gives you an ability to win over a lot of situations, and being in its own nakshatra, that too the Uttarashara nakshatra, which is said to be one of the best nakshatras in terms of qualities and terms of power. So if you work towards those power, yes, you may feel lack of energy, because the third house representing energy also, Saturn is combust, but there's enough internal spiritual energy, and the Lagna Lord aspecting Mars, the energy planet, will give you enough to talk about going ahead. Yes, use your logic also, because the 2nd and the 5th Lord, you may feel that you are not lucky, somehow things are not working out. Prod along, keep going, because sooner than later things will work out, because your 9th Lord is in its own nakshatra, also very strong and aspecting the 9th house. So luck sooner than later will favor you. Just see to it that the partners that you choose for any endeavor for the next 1.5 years are the ones you can trust. Don't go around making people as partners who are not worthy of your trust. As we move towards the Sagittarius Lagna, for the Sagittarius Lagna, Venus, the Lord of the 6th house and the dispositor of Rahu, and the Lord of the 11th house is on the Lagna. So Venus on the Lagna will definitely mean good times, happy times, but it's also the 6th Lord, which means that if you need those happy times, you need to be disciplined, and you need to make sure that any obstacle that you have coming your way, you will have the ability, or you will have that courage and the loving ability to pass things out in a very loving manner. Venus is a little gullible and is trusts people more easily. So remember not to trust others very easily, and to not give in to a lot of pleasures. Just go by your own instincts. Your 9th Lord is very strong at the moment, so your Purva Punya will definitely come to your help. The 2nd Lord is Ast, or is Combust at the moment, and will remain so for the next 1 month. So it is really advised that this month take care of your health. Be sure of what you are eating, because it's also the Lord Jupiter, which is sweets, and Jupiter, which is good food, is also associated with that, and Combust. Don't eat too rich food, and 4th Lord is also Jupiter, and it's combust with Saturn. So have a dietary control. That is very, very important for you. Otherwise, being the 8th lord, moon also being strong, can create a lot of mental issues for you. It can also cause fluidity problems in your body. With the 7th lord going strong, your partners, your business definitely seems to be on a good position. So which is something that is different, for this lagna as compared to the other lagnas wherein money can be a little tight. But this lagna definitely sees a good position, a place where your business and your partners would definitely start rising up. For you, definitely the sun god holds a lot of value, and if you can revert to the sun god early in the morning, you will go a long way and the confidence would completely rise. Moreover, any illness that you feel, any discomfort that you feel on account of your illness can be taken good care of. For the Capricorn Lagna, the entire scene is being played on the Lagna. On the onset, I would like to add that you are moving towards a burnout because the Lagna Lord is combust along with the 12th and the 3rd Lord. Don't push yourself to a place, don't take up too much on your plate that you can feel a burnout, you would go into a reverse gear and you would actually start working at the lowest of your potentials. So just concentrate on what you are doing, do that nicely, and what you do not or you cannot do, you need to just bow down to the Almighty and say, please save me, because the Almighty, the 8th, your Guru's grace is sitting right there on the Lagna, that is Sun. So it is important that you remember your Guru at the time when things are not working very strongly for you. Don't get into unnecessary arguments or scuffles with people, and don't try to manipulate things for others. Mercury is strong for you. 6th house is also manipulations. So don't go into that area, or else you might just suffer the wrath of Jupiter and also the wrath of Sun, your 8th lord. So, and remembering your principles on every ground, because Mercury is also your 9th lord. Sitting on the Lagna, it is Digbali. Jupiter is also Digbali. It's the 12th lord and the 3rd lord. And it's combust, though it has one with the Lagna lord. Very strongly telling you to take care of your health and a burnout. Remembering the sun god at this moment is the key thing that you can do. And not just the sun god, your guru, your elders, your parents, who by their blessings will create a safeguard for you. As we move on to the Aquarius Lagna, the 12th house takes precedence over everything else. And the 4th and the 10th house are on the Rahu-Ketu axis. So the 12th lord being in the 12th house along with the 11th lord, the Lagna lord, and the 2nd lord. Because for the Aquarius Lagna, Jupiter, the planet of value, is in the 12th house. Your moral values are at the ones where you need to concentrate the most. Your ability to give to others without expectation, because Saturn, the planet of giving, the planet of the planet which represents service, is also combust with Jupiter, has lost with Jupiter in the Graha Yudh, wherein you may be using a lot of logical reasoning whether to give to people or not, or whether to participate in charitable acts or not. My sincere advice to you would be, go ahead, do things without expectations. The returns are going to come pretty soon for you. At the moment, your 7th lord may be in the 12th house, wherein you may have to bow down to your partners, you may have to bow down on a public platform, but you would do good in accepting the situation at the moment, because time, as I have always felt, is never constant, and we all know that for a fact. So the time will change for you as Sun moves into the sign of your 7th lord, moving into over your Lagna. So that is the time when you can have your own say, when you can dictate a lot of terms, and you will be shining brightly on a good platform. But that's for next month. This month, your 3rd lord, being Mars, is in the 3rd house in Ashwini Nakshatra. Lots of changes coming your way, and you're ready for it. And this will help you unlock a lot of things in life, which the effect you may feel in the next month. Again, your fourth lord in the 11th house, so says that you have the ability to suddenly earn a lot from a public ground. Your connectivity with people will take you a long way. So concentrate on that area. Again, concentrate on your relationships with others, wherein you need to give selflessly, because sun being strong for you, the seventh lord of a public platform, and in the 12th house of giving. One of the good remedies for you would be to donate to charitable causes, especially in hospitals, because the 12th house represents hospitals. So it would also do you good to give in the to give to people in small dispensaries, because moon, which is also called the herbs, the planet of herbs and planet of medicines, is in the 12th house. So giving medicines in a poor dispensaries will also help you work certain karma out of the system for this month. Again, as we see that Ketu is in your 10th house, the work is something that you're very comfortable with, know about. So as sun would enter next month, we will see next month that you would be really raring to go to a good place. For raring to go, move to a good place, the things that I said that you need to donate, if you do that, those times will be better off in the next month. Finally, we talk about the Pisces Lagna. The Pisces Lagna, it's for the Pisces Lagna, the things happening in the 11th house. Of all the houses, 11th house is said to be a centrifugal place. Why? Because the 11th house is said to be the house of fulfillment of wishes. So one needs to be very careful about what you wish for, because your 6th lord of hard work will ensure your wishes coming to be true. But those wishes have to be esoteric and have to be in alignment with your spiritual path, because sun is also on the spiritual path, and combusting the Saturn and Jupiter, it makes sure that your administration or your willingness to work, want things which are very, very strong materially, will have to diminish, at least for this month. And Jupiter, which is also your Lagna Lord and the 10th Lord, and is combust in the 11th house. So financially, if you're on a low key, but if you find there's a lot of development and your need to do good work for others before asking, always deserve before you desire. If you follow this principle, at least for this month, you're in a good place and you will go good. Moon, your 5th Lord, the Lord of children, is sitting right there in its own nakshatra, and is sitting with Mercury, with Jupiter, forming the Gaj Kesari Yoga for your Lagna. Good times for learning, good times for doing deep studies, good time for understanding few principles, not just of the self, but also of life, and following certain path set by your elders. That will take you to a good place. Again, this is the time when you could revere to the mother goddess in Annapurna or mother form, because she is the moon, she is goddess Parvati. That will do you a good place in this month. Till we meet with you again, take good care of yourself this month, because this month deserves extra care, not just for your health, for your wealth, but also on a spiritual path. With Jupiter being overtaken by Sun in a few days time, you would realize that you are going to undergo a strong transformation on an internal and a logical level. Be aware of that and stay safe, stay happy. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and to watch our videos on our channel. Till we meet with you again, thank you.